Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Deep Ball, Samuel Akem, Keenan, Curran. We got a very, very special guest, Mr. Ty Gregorak. How are you doing, my man?
Well, Sam, I've been waiting to hear that intro. When I go on my middle-aged fat guy hikes up the M over here. I know it's not Mount Sentinel, but it's on the M over here. I'm always listening to you and Keenan and Coulter and Schmidt-tacular and whoever, but yeah, Brooksy, all of them. I love listening to you guys. You guys do a great job. It's been fun. It's been fun watching. I mean, Keenan just reminded me. Keenan and I overlapped 1 year. Obviously, I was on the defensive side of the ball. Not many of the defensive coaches that remained from the Delaney years stayed that year or stayed after, as you remember, and. And then obviously I got to coach against you guys, and I never got to be a head coach, but I would always take long, big, good-looking, running wide receivers like you guys. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be on your show. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. How's the offseason been for you, man? Obviously, we're gonna get into all of this, but obviously one of your jobs is you're a broadcaster for the Cats. You cover all their games. So how was the offseason been for you?
I'm a broadcaster for Scripps.
Scripps, absolutely. For Scripps.
I know I get lumped into it, but the Big Sky has a contract with. And I didn't mean to cut you off, Sammy, but
no, you're good. You're good.
Yes, they built this deal. I mean, 4 years ago with two different teams. One team remains the same. One team made a change last year, and I think Jordan and Trey are doing a great job, but I just think, yes, I do cover all the Cat games, but we work for the Big Sky and for Scripps. So
absolutely.
But I was gonna say too, there is no off season. I do this as a hobby, man. Like this is a fun thing that I get to do, that I get to keep around the game and keep around the Big Sky. I mean, I coached in the Big Sky for 15 years, guys. So I know so many of these coaches and players and old players that come around. I just saw Dalton. Did Dalton Snead come back to the Grizzlies?
Offensive assistant, man.
He's one of the best. I loved the way that guy played the game, man. Like I had a lot of tempo rubbing and Tylenol popping and a couple of Uncle Tito's after playing him, man. He was. I'm glad they got him back. I just always liked the way he played. But all I was gonna say is there's no off season for me. I know Keenan and I kind of work in similar but different spaces in med device. I get to run a team of 11 folks from Montana all the way to Northwest Arkansas, and we stay busy. And I got a wife that has 30 teams in her club volleyball program. I got 2 kids that are freak athletes that obviously get that from their mother, and we are 4 ships passing in the night. And if wifey and I ever think we have a chance to make out, we usually have to put it on Microsoft Outlook and schedule it.
Man, that's a blessing though, right? That's a blessing to kind of have that sort of fruitfulness in your life beyond football, and then football gets to be your hobby.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I married a Cat. She was a great volleyball player over here, and then she was an assistant for the Grizz 2 separate times, like I was. We left at the same time, came back almost at the same time, and yeah, it's been good. We are busy. We're really active in the community. For the first time in our lives, we kind of got to dictate where we wanted to live, right? Instead of
right.
Which coach is going here, and Bobby leaves for UNLV. It's we love Montana and wanted to stay here, and we've set up shop here. And I've been officially here now 10 years, which is nuts to say, and it's even crazier to think that I got to Montana in 03 with Bobby in the first go around. And so, other than a 1-year hiatus, basically in the middle of all that, I've been here 22 out of 23 years, which is pretty crazy.
It's crazy, man.
And that's awesome. Go ahead, Sam.
So, what I want to ask you, first things first, what is the difference? Obviously, we can get into your history as a coach, and we can get into, all of that. But what I ask you is, what would you say is the biggest difference between evaluating film as a coach versus calling a game as an analyst?
So that's a great question. I know there's again, I'm so busy with like fall is insane for me.
Yep.
So I'll say this though. I joked and I wasn't joking. Like if I'm going on a hike and I just like being outside in fresh air if the weather's nice, I'm listening to you guys. I'm listening to Skyline. I'm listening to Big Sky. I'm listening to Sammy and Keenan. If I stay inside though and work out, I'm always watching football games. Right? I mean, you can find any game you want. So I'm always fascinated to listen to other broadcasters. I'll be honest, and everyone's got their own style, and I'll never forget my first year. Our producer, who's still our producer to this day, he produced the combine last week. He's producing the draft. Like this world is so crazy because like I'm still learning what a lot of the they use a lingo, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm an old meathead football coach, and they've got all these names for who does what, and I'm like, I know your name, but I don't know exactly what you do 5 years later. I'll never forget him saying though, he's like, find your voice. Like just find your voice. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. Just have fun with it. And that's kind of what like, it's like Tripp, and Jordan and I have always been close, and I got to coach him his whole career. But that's the advice I've given him. It's like, just be yourself, man. Is it going to be for everyone? No. You screw up, it's live television, right? Like it's the best, last, and first and foremost reality TV. Like this is reality TV every Saturday. Obviously, the 22 guys on the field are, that's what people want to watch. But then obviously, if you got someone you enjoy listening to, and I think you guys would probably agree, there's people you really enjoy listening to on Saturdays and Sundays, and there's people you're like, this isn't for me, and and again, my style, and I think people can tell I definitely have fun with it. But that's what I told Jordan. I'm like, dude, if I'm going to take 11 weekends out of a year, I got out of football to hang out with my family and have fall and have weekends and stuff I never got for almost 20 years or 25 years, being a player as well. I said, my son is going to be up in the box whenever he wants to be. My family's going to come up pregame, and I'm going to kiss my smoke show of a wife, and they're going to have access passes, and hopefully, I do think just the sheer number of years that I had in the Big Sky, and oh, by the way, I got to be a part of a lot of great teams and a lot of wins and conference championships and a lot of dudes that went on the NFL. I do think I do think I have a kind of a cool background to get to talk about it every Saturday. I know the history, I know the rivalry, I know these two schools really, really well, and it's fun for me to hopefully project that to the audience. And again, I'm sure there's some people that are like, oh, Taco scored. Here comes Taco Tuesday on a Saturday from Gregorak for the 80th time this year. But you know what? A lot of people actually kind of like it, and I get a lot of compliments around town. I went to Nashville. I saw Sammy in Nashville, and people are like, we appreciate what you're doing, because obviously you're having fun with it, and you and Ben do a good job. And Ben does a great job. That's the thing. Like, Trey and Ben do this for a living. Like this is their job. I mean, Trey's done some huge games in his life. Ben's got this big booming voice. I've got this. I sound like I've been smoking, Marlboro Red since I was 6 years old. And it's cool to watch these guys because they went to school for this. They know how to do it, and they're pros. And Jordan and I are just lucky we get to hang out with them 10, 11 times a year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so funny you mentioned Tripp, because you mentioned how it was his first year doing it, and early on you could kind of tell he was just trying to kind of feel it out. But then as the season went on, you could kind of hear him find his voice. What was that like for you when you first started doing it? Like when you first got into it and you're trying to find your voice, what was it like early on?
Yeah, the same, man. Like it was Eastern Washington, and I know that I had done a good job, and I can see the game, and guys like you and I understand. The average fan doesn't I don't think truly understand a lot of the game within the game. I don't believe it. And so I don't ever want to say you want to dumb it down, but like there's just certain things that some fans are not gonna, if unless you talk about gap scheme and what gap scheme is, and I call it God's play, power, and A gap power and different things. I mean, there's a lot of football fans that know, and I mean, shoot, kids anymore with freaking Madden and I mean, my God, the knowledge some of these kids have about the game. You're like, I mean, my son Jax, he knows so much more about football than I did, like going into college. It's insane just from playing Madden and the college football and
NCAA,
or NCAA, and he just kicks my ass every time. He's like, I'm like, I mean, like I'll walk up, we got a man cave, and I'm like, you know what? Today's the day. Tonight's the night. I'm gonna whack. And he pulls out some trick that he learned on freaking YouTube. I'm like, good God, man. The good thing is he's a good kid. He's a good athlete, and he's a really good student. So I can't yell at him too bad. But no, man, I would say this. Like, do you remember Tom Brady's first couple games, and he's getting a ton of heat. You know, social media is all over him. And I'm like, like anything in life, if you want to be good at it, it takes reps. Just your stance, your posture, the things you guys learned as a wide receiver, your feet, inside foot, outside foot, your hands, where your eyes are at the snap. Like, it takes reps. And I told Candace, you know, I'm like, I mean, you watch. Tom Brady is going to be in this role for as many years as he wants to be, and he'll be like this generation's John Madden. People will know his voice, and he's so football intelligent. His football IQ is just ridiculous. And once he kind of found his voice, like, it's just going to get better and better and better every year that he's doing broadcast for Fox.
Yeah.
No doubt. Wow, that was a lot. And thank you for some of the kind of insights you gave on just like starting something new. I think I draw a lot of parallels to that with when I started in med device. I didn't really know what I was doing, and someone gave me that advice of like, find your voice, right? Find how you can add value to the space that you're in. And it's led me to where I'm at now. So,
Keenan, try doing that at 40 years old, homie.
Yeah.
I got some calls immediately after Choate and I parted ways. I really believe in all my heart, if I wanted to be coaching right now, I could. I believe I could. I knew that I could have right away after the Montana State situation, and I took a leap of faith, man. Like, I mean, it was, when you got a wife and kids, and Sammy's already done the first part of that, and the second will come soon. And I think sounds like you're a little smitten over some young filly out in the Seattle area, Keenan. But I knew that if I got whacked by a Mack truck, it wasn't probably going to talk about 8 or 9 Big Sky championships and Brock Coyle and Jordan Tripp and these guys playing linebacker for 4 or 5 years, or going to 3 national championships and losing all 3 of those national championships. But I sure as hell wanted it to talk about being a good husband and father. And everyone in Stryker, you go to these big meetings and they talk about Stryker being life-changing. Generally, they're talking about it financially. And I'm not going to say that financially it hasn't been pretty damn good. But it's been life-changing for me and my family, just because I don't miss much ever. Yeah. And that's been really, really awesome for me personally. You guys know the game well enough, and you've been around your coaches, and Sammy, I'm assuming you're going to try to be around the program now that people might have a little more access with the new Bobby, if that makes sense. But I got to tell you, and I didn't understand this as a player, and you guys wouldn't understand it as a player either. The sacrifice and the job that college coaching is, man. Like, absolutely. You don't have a lot of hobbies, personal interests, things that people ask. I live in Montana for 20 some years of my life. They're like, "Oh, do you hunt?" No, I don't hunt. Most of the hunting season in the fall. I spent my whole life busy as hell in the fall. I did. My father didn't hunt, and my folks split up when I was really, really young. But it's just you sacrifice a lot, man. And so for me personally, it's been really cool. I don't miss hockey. I don't miss football. I don't miss gymnastics. Like I said, we're doing some stuff over here in the community that makes me feel really good about life right now at 47 years old. And so anyway, life is good, gentlemen. And Keenan, I know what you mean, man. You just did it at a lot younger age, right? You're trying something new. You're learning about. You're getting credentialing. You're getting vaccinated for things you didn't even know that you needed to get vaccinated for. You're onboarding. You're learning the product. You're learning anatomy. And I'm like, oh my god! Like I was like the funny fat guy in my training class, and all these young, good-looking 24, 25-year-old girls like, hey, we get to go work on cadavers today, and I'm like, Jesus, that was someone's dad or father, son, mom. Yeah. And like, God, truly. Like, let me know what the brain looked like. I'll find out soon. So, anyway, but
it's shocking. It's shocking, and I think you made a really good point about like knowing when it was time to move on from football, from coach to professional life. I kind of want to dig into like, as a coach, when did you know it was the right time to move on from a program? And pursue new opportunities, right? I know it happened in various different ways, but like, obviously we talked about our time together at UM, and then moving on to MSU, like when do you know as a coach, hey, this is the time for me to move on?
Yeah, that one, there's so many, we have this thing in the state called the Great Divide, right? And there's a lot of perception and, some people think that I was fired by Stipp. Some people think that, the bottom line is he brought Jason Seymour with him from Mines, and those guys are friends. All right. But there was a reason why Lengy Suyanoa, Eric Williams, myself. Now, I'll be the first to say it, dude. You spend 12 years at a program and win 120 whatever games. You go to 5 semifinals. You go to 3 national championships. You coach in, what did we get? Seven Big Sky championships. Like, I bled maroon and silver. Okay, and I think the people over here know that, which is probably why they were like, "You got to be kidding me, right?" I mean, like, and I think Choate and I had a mutual friend, and the guy's name is Mick Delaney. Yeah. So the bottom line is that one was tougher than anyone will ever, and again, you and I both know the percentage of the fan base that they're the ones that are the keyboard warriors. They're the ones that want to talk about you and your family and your wife and rumors. And, you just sit there and you go, get a life, folks. So yes, Bob was going to, Bob told me that I was going to continue to coach linebackers, but that Jason was going to call the defense. And I said, that's great, coach. Like, I kind of just assumed it was eventually going to happen, right? I think defensively we were doing enough good things, with myself, Langy, Eric, Jake Cookus, if you remember that name, Keenan, of course.
Jake Cookus.
We had a good thing going. And we stuck it out through the first year, and then, we all just kind of saw the writing on the wall a little bit. I think I've said it to the media before. I actually had an opportunity to go to Hawaii at the same time as Lengy went to Hawaii, and Rolovich and I spoke, and I could have been the defensive coordinator there for a lot more money. Of course, you're going to Hawaii, and you really go, okay, how much really is this in Hawaii? And I think the perception and the reality of living in Hawaii are two way different things.
For sure.
And I married a girl from Roundup, Montana. I grew up outside of Spokane, Washington. At the time, I was, still trying to see. I was seeing my son in Minneapolis a ton, and I'm sure maybe we'll get to him. He's got a Montana State offer amongst others. But I just knew that if we made that choice, it'd be a really life-changing choice for the family, right? In terms of seeing our family, being our, you're coming to the mainland, to play football games, then go back. It just, so, trust me when I say, boys, and the guys that know me, the Grizz that know me knew it was really, really hard. I did not work my ass off at Montana as long as I did. And I wanted to be the next head coach. I'll be honest. I really did. And Ken actually told me that if whether it's true or not, if Bob would have found something different or said no, that, I probably would have been the guy, is what he said. And wow. There was rumor that Bobby Hauck was trying to maybe come back then too. And, It is what it is. Life is funny. Everything happens for a reason. I did make a very, very fascinating choice to come over here, and I'll say this: it's a real compliment to Montana, because when I got here, the Grizz, when I got here, I was so used to a standard and a culture and a locker room. The old dogs, and it's, you guys know this. I mean, you remember as freshmen and rookies, like there's a real tough love there.
Absolutely.
There's a tough love.
That's to put it lightly.
To put it lightly. Very lightly. And, I got over here and Montana State, I mean, Rob Ash is the winningest coach in the history of this program. You allow Brent Vegan to stay here long enough, he'll surpass that in about half the time.
Easily.
But I think things just got a little stale. Things got complacent, and that tough ass kicking mentality had just kind of gone away a little bit. And so they probably needed a guy like Jeff Choate, honestly, and maybe needed a guy like myself, because the very first defensive meeting I held, guys, we did it on campus in a lecture hall, kind of like we used to walk up to the food zoo in that building.
Whatever that, I think it's a psychology building, maybe.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
And I actually, gave a, pretty good raw, probably a lot of language, went through, standards and expectations. And then I showed a video of us partying, where I say us, guys in maroon and white. Keenan was on that team, partying right in the middle of the Bobcat. And I had certain linebackers that were a little more descriptive in partying on the Bobcat.
Strong.
And I think he was from Oregon, if you remember, number 10, I believe. And I love Connor Strom, and I'd go to battle with Connor Strom any day of the week, just so we're all clear.
Absolutely. But
I just said, this shit's over. As long as I'm here, we might lose, but we're not like going to allow that to ever happen, ever. And slowly we shifted a culture, and we didn't lose. We didn't lose the game. My 3 years, Jeff won it a fourth year. COVID happened, and I know you boys love to talk. Well, I think Keenan was already gone, but we got one after 5 or 6 years in 2021, and it's been an interesting one for sure. Watching these two schools. It's fascinating, actually. If we really want, I don't know how much time we have on this call together, but you're talking to a dude that got to Missoula in 2003, 2 years removed from a national championship. My last 4 years in round one, we lost one conference game, and that was to Weber State at Weber, and then they came up to our place and we murdered them. So yeah, it's been fascinating to watch these two programs in the direction they've gone. And so it wasn't an easy decision. It wasn't an easy decision. You never know, man. But I also get it. I mean, I had some issues a year prior, having to leave UNLV, and that was a mess. And so the timing wasn't good for me either. I'd done enough to screw it up, and probably didn't deserve an opportunity. And they gave it to Coach Stitt, and well, you guys know how that one ended. So,
so when you went to Montana State, was there a little bit of like motivation there for you to kind of like take it to the Grizz? Because of what had taken place.
We were, Sammy. We were not very good here. I mean, we were not good. Like I went from coaching. I just mentioned Brock and Jordan, let alone Herbert Gamboa, John Paul. People talk about the dudes that went and played in the pros. John Paul Keenan is one of the best, just natural linebackers I've ever coached. Sean Lebsock, Sean's about as big. He's about as tall as this Yeti, but that dude would run and hit, and just naturally could find the ball. And
athlete KVA was there.
Oh, but listen, I can keep going down the list. I mean, Caleb McSurdy got drafted by the Cowboys. I mean,
Yeah.
he went to Bora High School. That, I mean, a lot of people in Boise don't even know that Bora plays football, or, you know, at least they hadn't been very good. So no, I mean, just the culture, it was just weird, man. Like, it was just, again, I was so used to that tough love, locker room, like player driven, like, this is how it is here, or you won't make it very long. And it took, you never want the coaches, like all leadership in a great family, in a great organization. Look at pro football, right? The best teams usually have the best front offices, the best owner, and it works its way all the way down. And, but that being said, the leadership wants extensions of them, and that's you guys as players. And there wasn't a lot of that when we first got here, and it was tough. So to answer your question, did I want to stick it to the Grizz? No, I wanted to win freaking football games. Like we had to, I had to pray to the sweet baby Jesus to win games against like Bryant. Okay. I mean, we were not good. And, our best defensive player was a walk-on from Hall, Montana by the name of Mac Bignell. Remember that name?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the best player we had on defense. And nothing against walk. I mean, shoot, we've seen some good walk-ons. Ty Okada started his career as a walk-on. He's a Super Bowl champion right now. So
Go Hawks, baby.
no, man, I didn't want to stick it to the Grizz. Now, I'm not going to lie. Two of my 3 games were in Missoula. The first one, we were not as good of a team as the Grizz to go there and win. It was special. I mean, both times there, I just remember my wife like running and like from 10 feet jumping into my arm. And then obviously the last one, the goal line stop was, I thought that was maybe one of the top 2 or 3 plays in Montana State history until a 4th and 10 in Nashville a couple of months ago. Man. But no, man, it was a hell of a run. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. And shoot, married a Montanan. After 20 some years, you can kind of call yourself a Montanan. Shoot, Sammy, you're almost a Montanan these days. I mean, you're
almost
close. I'm getting close.
He lives in Frenchtown. You're pretty much a Montanan if you live in Frenchtown.
I live outside of Frenchtown. I live in Alberton. It's even smaller.
I was going to say Stephen Failer, who he and his wife still run the weight program over there.
They do a great job.
Yeah, Stephen's such a great dude. So is his wife, and but yeah, not a lot of athletes come out of Frenchtown. I say that, and Cody Kirk still holds records over here. So anyway, Sammy and Keenan, you're going to find out really quick. I can digress in a hurry and answer a question that could have taken like 10 seconds.
No, it's good.
10 minutes. And I'm sorry about that.
No, it's good. It's what it makes for really good content.
We want to see the mind of Ty Gregorak. We want to see inside your mind, man.
Yeah,
see how you're working. So one thing I do want to ask you, you obviously understand what it means to leave somewhere where it means tremendous amount of, like, where it means a lot to you and go somewhere else. With that, give us your thoughts on Hauck's move from Montana to Illinois. And what do you think about the way he went about it? You know, the retiring and then the, taking a defensive coordinator job. And then if you want to as well, since you like to go on tangents, talk about what you think about him as a defensive coordinator, what you think that's going to mean for him as a defensive coordinator.
It's tough. Right? It's tough. Okay, one, I love and respect and appreciate Bobby Hauck. It's tough to talk about him. Tough to talk about him as a defensive coordinator because he's never been one.
Absolutely.
So you know, again, I've known Bobby since I was 16 years old. So I don't know if you guys know this. Bobby was on Rick Neuheisel's staff at Colorado. Bobby was the regional recruiter who recruited me to Colorado. And some of my best friends to this day, Adam Bledsoe, Drew's brother, Brady McDonald out of South Dakota. Like Victor Rogers played for the Lions for a long time. Bobby went and kind of like in some of these obscure places found these dudes that, you know, we wanted to go play for. I mean, I would tell players like you guys, like, Coach, where'd you take your trips? I'm like, Ohio State and Colorado. And who were you offered by? Well, pretty much everyone except for the SEC. And like, why'd you go to Colorado? I'm like, well, one, and I'm old, I'm getting old, but in the 90s, Colorado was where you wanted to go. Colorado had won a national championship. They're putting out Rashawn Salam had just won a Heisman as a linebacker. They'd had multiple Butkus winners. And Rick Neuheisel was this young, fun, you know, guys, and oh, by the way, so is his staff. Bobby was like 30, maybe. I mean, just these young guys that you wanted to go play for and float down the river with. And I remember when his damn twin daughters were born. That's how, I mean, Allie and Sydney, let alone Robbie. And, I mean, those kids are young compared to the twins. And so listen, it's funny. It's funny when Coulter asked the question. I don't know if it was you two or if it was his brother, but Coulter, everybody respects Bobby. Is Bobby beloved by Grizz Nation?
That was me and Coulter.
It's
actually it was Brooks and Coulter.
Yeah, it's a fascinating question, you know, and the guy. I mean, what else could he have done except win it all? Right? I mean, that's the only thing he didn't do. Winning as coach in the Big Sky history, winning as coach at Montana, one of the blue bloods of FCS football, and you know, it sucks, man. Like you know, when I'm at Striker stuff and people know I'm the old coach, and you know, it freaking sucks to say I competed or I coached in 3 national championships, because if you just win one of the 3, you get to say you're a national champion the rest of your life. And you know, Vegan and all these guys and the ones that jumped in the portal on the damn charter flight home can say they are a national champion the rest of their life. And honestly, I'm bummed that Bobby can't say that. All right, I am, because Bobby's an excellent coach. I have so much gratitude for helping me get to play at the highest level of college football. I got to coach at the highest level of FCS football. I did think it was a fascinating few days, though. I'm not going to lie. And it's like, to me, it's almost so Bobby, if you want the truth. Like, I think
break it down for us.
Yeah. I mean, well, I just think, you know, he got into a contract year, and what's going over here is ridiculous, honestly. I mean, what the amount of money that's been spent, tremendous leadership by our former president. When I say our, I mean, I'm just talking most recent. Okay. What they should, you know, you guys have been to the stadium, and Keenan, I don't know if you've been to the stadium recently, but there's a massive trophy of Sonny Holland as you walk into, you know, the non-Sonny Holland end of the stadium, ironically, the Jumbotron side. And if they were smart, they'd put a big old statue of Juanette Cruzado somewhere on this campus, because she changed the landscape of not just the school, but this town. Leon Costello has, I mean, has he missed? Has he missed yet? I mean, no.
He's done a good job.
You know, and so I remember, you guys know the name Colin Dow. So Colin was a really good offensive lineman for us in the late 2000s. So kind of when we went on that 4-year run. It's funny because I actually got to coach a generation of Grizz that never lost to the Cats, and I actually coached a generation of Cats that never lost to the Grizz.
That's a flex. Man. That is a flex for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. But I remember Colin, you know, Colin likes to, like, you know, like probably a lot of the state, they think I'm this, you know, trader-ack or whatever they want to call me, right? And he sent me the drawings for the bubble, this $5 million bubble that's going to go on the River Bowl. Well, as a dude over here that kind of has an in, and I have my little birdies, and I'm kind of around the program now because, you know, like you said, I work for the Bobcats. I really don't work for the Bobcats, but all I responded to his text was, when I saw the renderings of the $5 million bubble, was, "That's cute." I said, "That's cute," because I knew that they were about to announce a $27 million freaking, like the pros, like a lot of the NFL doesn't have what they built over here. So
an actual structure.
Oh, it's a structure. I mean, it's one of the nicer indoors I've been in. I've been in around the country. And so listen, man, I wish Bobby the best of luck. I see Robbie's now there too.
Yep.
Coach Coop. I didn't know which direction Coach Vegan was going to go. I didn't, and I didn't know which way BK would go with the defensive staff. I thought it would have been pretty cool for Roger, who probably feels like I do a lot of sometimes at least, that if he could have come back maybe as the defensive.
He was a Bobcat, right?
He's one of the best linebackers that's ever come through here.
He was defensive, Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, but wow. Roger was the real deal and a great dude. So I wish Bobby the best of luck. I am very fascinated to see how the 3-3-5 holds up in the Big Ten. And I'm just, like I said, I'm excited for Coach to. He's always done such a good job. I mean, you guys maybe, you guys are football dudes, so you probably remember the name Pat Hill, who was at Fresno State forever. So he always coached special teams while being the head coach, and that's when Fresno State was. They were good. Like nobody in the Power Five or whatever you want to call it back. Nobody wanted to play Fresno because they were blue collar, tough. Dan Campbell bite you in the kneecaps, just tough, right? And but he always had his hand in special teams, and that was his way of touching the entire team. Basically, everyone has a hand in special teams except maybe the starting quarterback or the starting running back, and sometimes even then they do. And so Bobby's always had a hand in special teams. I don't think the three of us could say that Bobby's not a really good special teams coordinator. So he knows defensive football, and don't kid yourself. But the guy knows football. It's just now, he's going to the Big Ten, in which Illinois is kind of an up and comer. Brent Bielema's a name. He's a household name in college football, and you're gonna go use this defense that you guys know the Big Ten. And the other thing I'm fascinated too is you got the vibe that he's kind of sick of this new age of college football.
Absolutely.
And when he's and we all heard the walk-ons having agents, which I think that was a little Bobby holding court and the microphone at the AFCA. I don't know how many walk-ons really have agents. That's just my opinion.
None.
Not probably. By the way, I think most schools' policy is you have to be on scholarship to receive any NIL money anyway, right? I think so. But all I was thinking was, so NIL sucks, the transfer portal sucks, and you're now going to take your pick, SEC or Big Ten, where $23 to $30 million are spent on rosters, and guys are going from Georgia to Alabama, and you just 10x'd it in terms of the things we got the vibe you were frustrated with. So I don't know. I wish him the best of luck. Roger Cooper, Robbie Hauck, all those guys are fighting.
All of them.
I never thought I'd want to tune into a Fighting Illini game, but I'm going to be watching for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so interesting because the people that know Bobby and the fans, I guess, over the last it's been 8 years, or Bobby 2.0, he's so buttoned up in his interviews, right? And that's the change I think that we're getting with Bobby Kennedy, is like he's so available. It's just interesting that you talked about like when you came into MSU, right? And Choate came into MSU. You needed something different from Ash, who was the winningest coach at Montana State, or is the winningest coach. Yeah. And it almost kind of feels like it sucks because it was Hauck, and he's revered in the state of Montana for what he did at Montana, even though he didn't win the big one. He's a foundation builder, but it almost felt like Montana maybe needed that, right? They maybe needed a new perspective because, like you said, Costello hasn't missed, and we're struggling right now. So just wanted to talk on that. But, we were talking about the 3-3-5 a little bit. And obviously MSU has been really good in the 4-2-5. What are your thoughts on both defensive strategies? Like, obviously the 3-3-5, it can be good, but we struggled a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great question, Keenan. I think, Bobby used to kind of like to call it this, the voodoo defense, right? Well, the voodoo defense is actually, it can be and has been very, very good. I think that where it was good is, when guys like Rocky and certain schools out west started implementing it, it was, it's kind of like it's kind of like quarterbacks when they get to the NFL, like Jaden Daniels, right? But then franchises and programs kind of figure it out, right? They figure out the game, they figure out the defense, and I think the defense is a hell of a lot better with a guy like Alex Gubner in the middle.
Absolutely.
So listen, there's a lot of good things to it. I mean, you're bringing pressure from literally every position and everywhere on the field. You asked about Coach Vegan. How many coordinators has Coach Vegan gone through, right? Offense, defense. I mean, the guy, and yet, I mean, I think I said this on a broadcast this year. It's like they lost another coordinator. They lost this guy, and yet like they're getting better. And
standard is the standard.
He has set a standard. He's reset the standard. He's reset the bar. He's not a defensive guy, but he knows what he expects from the defense. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Freddie or Bobby Daly or Sean Howe. He has an expectation of what he wants run, and they're going to run it very, very well. I mean, you guys watch a lot of the Cat games. I know you watch every Grizz game, but like, I know Caden Dowler. I probably put up a few plugs for him to be the defensive player of the year, but like, I mean, who's their dudes on that defense, right? I mean, like, I don't. Will one guy play in the NFL other than the one linebacker, Cole Taylor? I mean, he might have a shot, maybe. So yeah. Coach Vegan has.
That was my point too.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Vegan has an expectation of what he wants to run on defense. I am fascinated to see, so BK. I know he and Sanders probably go back to the Stanford days, but to pluck not one, not two, but three coaches from a very average to poor, and I don't want to get in an argument or a fight over whose talent's better and all that, because I listened to it on my hikes, boys. I listened to it, but turn on the Montana State Eastern game and just you will you'll have a couple question marks. So.
I know it. It is like.
You want to expound on that at all?
No. I mean, listen, the whole thing was fascinating. Going back to Bobby, right? You didn't want to at least open it up and just see. You didn't want to just see who might be interested. This is Montana. This is the University of Montana.
The timing was terrible, though. The timing was terrible.
Well, if there's one guy that is a manager for Striker that I think we all would have wanted to see which I know, hey, they couldn't afford you these days, but
that was never going to happen, Keenan. And I appreciate you saying that. And God bless all the dudes that, tried 10 years ago or 11 years ago now, that had my back, and all the former players. I mean, like, it was humbling. But I don't know, man. Like, when you say the time, like, when's the timing good? I mean, is the timing good? You're going to fire James Franklin after 4 or 5 games, and is that good timing? And then, oh, by the way, they're one of the last ones to go find a guy, because, like, I mean, it's like, when's the timing good? But you're telling me that no dude that's a really good ball. This is no offense to Bobby Kennedy. I love Bobby. Bobby Kennedy's a great dude. I hope he does really well. It does piss me off, though, and it's like, this is not an interim. Oh, really? A 1-year contract spells interim all over it, fellas.
Yeah.
And if I sound like I'm getting, they just hired one of my best friends in Dom Dasty. And yes, Sammy, the first time you tried to pronounce his name, you obliterated it. You said Dace. It's Dasty. Dom and I were roommates. Dom married me and Candace. I was Dom's best man in Mexico for he and Lisa. So I hope they do well, and I hope these guys get to be there a long time. But it almost sounds like you're taking us all for fools when people say, we're all on 1-year contracts. No, some people sign 3 to 5 year contracts, or if you're at the big leagues, they sign you for 10. A 1-year contract has interim written all over it, and I just hope those guys do really well. And what's the mark, right? If they go if they go 9-3 and get waxed in Bozeman, was that not a good year? I don't know, man. That's why the whole thing's fascinating to me. And I don't mean to argue with you, Sammy. I just got to believe you open up a job like Montana.
Yeah.
This wasn't June, boys. This was early February.
Yeah.
You're telling me there's not some dudes out there that'd be like, might be worth a visit. So
yeah, I hope some great points.
I hope BK does really well. It's going to be so, a lot of Bobs at the
3 in a row. 3 in a row. It's crazy.
Get rid of the Bobs and Bobs.
I just think Kent likes the name Bob. Like, he just likes the name Bob. He keeps hiring Bobs, man. Let's get a Joe in there.
Well, I think the last two, the only Bob that ever went by Bob. I think he's probably a better salesman than you and I are, Keenan. I think he sold a bill of goods that it was pretty special. I'd have fans, like we'd go to the press box or whatever, and like, I never thought a coach would go for it. That many times on 4th down, B, on your own 20-yard line, Keenan. Where you're like, huh? What are we? You're coach. You're the head coach. Sure, let's go. Sounds great. You're the boss.
It was, and I'm grateful for like them allowing me to come after I went to Air Force. But like the transition to learn real offense when Coach Hauck came, it was like a stark. I was like, whoa, you guys are putting me in the slot. Like, whoa, this is. Yeah, I was like, we weren't. Whoa. I just stayed on one side of the field, guys. Like, so I'm grateful that I got to see the different eras, and obviously I'm grateful that Stitt had a scholarship for me. But
no doubt,
I saw when Hauck came back why he was what he was.
Listen, I'm not poking fun or making jokes. I was grateful to get. I got to keep my job for another year, right?
Yeah.
So, Laney got to keep his job. Eric got to keep his job, and so I was grateful for that too. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. There's no question about it. Football is an extremely copycat, like most sports.
Yep.
But I guess if you, instead of handing the ball off on a fly, you toss the ball, you become one of the gurus of the modern era. So,
hey, all things worked out, man. He's actually back where he started. So
yeah,
I know. It's Sturbick's up here. It's like, yeah. I mean, and what a cool little niche in Division II football. I mean, a gorgeous area, guys. I mean, it's a gorgeous area.
Yeah.
It's like Stanford, right? I mean, the kids are brilliant. So no, good for him. He will always have a place, and
I'm sure that 3 years cost him. I'm sure them 3 years cost him 7 years of life with the stress. He was like, "What? There's pressure? Whoa! I was at Mines. I was at Mines, guys."
Yeah. It was. And listen. There were some great dudes on that staff, though, man. Like, Jason's still coaching. JB Hall. I don't remember. Remember Coach Hall?
JB in Wyoming.
I used to terrorize his DBs in practice.
He's at. Oh yeah. I think he just had like his 7th or 8th kid too. Got him, and every time I see him, when he was at Northern Colorado, I'm like, dude, like, I mean, Marissa, I mean, go easy on her, man. Like, she's good. God. And oh, by the way, you're coaching FCS football. Like, I know you're not making that much in freaking Greeley. So
we just talked about this, Sam. We just talked about it.
Greeley.
Yeah.
And I only in the Big Sky would you have the defending national champion playing Greeley, and then get to go back to Greeley the following year. Like, what are we doing here? So
yeah, right.
It's insane.
Crazy.
So I do want to ask you one more thing. I want to ask. I want to stay on this Bobby Kennedy point for a second. What is a successful season? Because I think that is a big question out here, and the Montana. A lot of people want to know, what does that look like? In your opinion, what looks like a successful season in year one, and what gets him extended?
Yeah. Okay. You guys are alum. You guys still bleed the maroon and silver. I will give you my answer. I know my answer. So if you want me to go first, I will.
You go first.
You beat your rival.
Absolutely.
You beat your rival. You make the playoffs, and hopefully with the stars aligning, staying healthy, good coaching, good playing, you make some kind of a playoff run. Anything else is probably a failure. Am I wrong?
No,
No,
you're not. You're
You
not.
said
And
exactly
it's tough.
what I believe is a successful season and what warrants an extension.
You've got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. You've got one of the best running backs in the country. You've got a fantastic young wide receiver. You've got tight ends that, I mean, are they big, good-looking dudes to me? I don't evaluate it the way you guys do. The defense is going to have to show up in a hurry. A lot of new coaches, going to be a lot of new faces. Peyton Wing is back. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's an outstanding player. He's, and so again, the standard is the standard. I mean, hey, you guys coach for. You want to go back to Bob Stitt? Why was Bob Stitt fired?
He didn't beat the other guys.
There you go.
It's tough because it's like he's in a real. I mean, Bobby Kennedy's in a real tough spot because it's like
he's in a pickle.
The bar is so high just for you to you have to go beat the defending national champions.
Who is going?
This dude went 13-2 and they wanted him gone.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Like you said earlier, it is an interim tag, right? I mean, like I hope because I bleed maroon and silver that he has a good year and we beat the Cats. I wish that every year, but it just feels like, and this is maybe the first year I've actually had to face it, they're not slowing down. They're not slowing down.
I was trying to tell you that last year. You didn't want to listen.
And I talk to Willie Patterson in the mornings when we work out, and he's like, man, it's all right to throw on a navy blue and gold. No, it's not all right, Willie. I can't throw on a navy blue and gold sweater.
How is Willie playing in, like,
yeah, he's like in Spain or Madrid or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's living a good life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if you're young and you got just a little bit of money, because they don't pay you much money, but my goodness, you travel around Europe and meet European women in different towns, and I mean, it does sound fun up until a certain age when you got to actually like make a living. Anyway, no, I mean, guys, I was telling you about when I was recruited in 1996. So my trip to Ohio State was against Michigan. So and whoever wins, I can't remember if it was whoever won the game went to the national championship, but for sure, if Ohio State wins it, they go to the national championship. Yeah. And a guy by the name of John Cooper was the head coach at the time. And he finished with, like, I don't even know what his win percentage was. It was like almost 700% winning percentage. He could not beat Michigan. And they fired him. And, again, I coached in 15 brawls, lost 3. I could tell you way more about the 3 we lost than the ones we won. 2003, 2005, 2012. And it's been a major shift, man. It's just been you can't drive around Bozeman anymore and not see cranes. You can't see the stuff being built on campus. I mean, my son had his year-end hockey party at the sub, and they're bowling and eating pizza. And I'm just like, I'm walking by new buildings. Like, when I go on campus anymore, fellas, I go to the stadium and that's it. I have no ties to, I mean, maybe once a year I'll go to a volleyball game because my wife was a pretty good player. And, but it's nuts what they've done here. And, Montana builds the Champions Center. They're going to build the Bobcat complex and probably spend another $1 million or $2 million or whatever it turned out to be. And, the Grizz have really, really cool old Jumbotron that they got from Times Square years ago. Well, the Bobcats put in a new one with a great sound system, and it's pretty badass. Oh, the Grizz is still the mecca of FCS football. Okay, well, here's renderings. We're just going to add a few more million, and we're going to close off the stadium. Will it be the mecca then or not? I don't know. I used to hate coming over here, man. I mean, they had grass. I mean, it was funny when I got back, or when I came here. we'd run a reel all week of the brawl,
Yeah.
Cat Grizz. And there's actually a clip of me as I was like 24 years old, and I think it was Corey Smith, 2003. He returns the first kick. House is the first kickoff, like Rashid Shaheed style. Just take it to the house on the opening kick, and they show me at like 24, just MFing the world, and it's crazy to see where this program has come since then. I'll be honest. So
Yeah.
That's crazy. We have the same amount of brawl losses.
3, yeah, and I don't even like saying it. And Travis Lule is probably one of the best quarterbacks I ever got to coach against. He was a great player. It kind of, in terms of just athleticism and between the ears and just that it factor that we were talking about pre-show with Lamson, he just had that it. And 16 years of a streak, man. I mean, it's when you're on the losing side of that, it's like you don't even believe you can win, right? And for a guy like him to break it, and then 3-5, right? Two of our first 3 years there in Missoula were losses to the Cats. The only saving grace is 2004. We made a hell of a run and went all the way to Chattanooga to eventually lose to James Madison in the national championship. But yeah, man, it's been a journey, no question, fellas. I mean, we're lucky. I say it every year. To get to do the brawl and get to be around these two programs for me, I know you guys focus in on the Grizz, but Sammy especially. I mean, you're talking about both programs a lot. You're talking about the Big Sky.
Absolutely.
I think you and Coulter and all you guys do such a good job because a lot of these markets really don't care. They don't care about and so the fact that you guys bring the coaches on to talk to and other players and I think it's
now we can bring the coaches on actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I mean you got to. The public's going to start to get to know the assistant coaches now at the University of Montana, and they're already getting to know Coach Kennedy. Coach Kennedy says, "Oh, like you got in a press conference, you guys got to like keep a pad of paper, count the number of OKs, like okay, right, OKs, right." He says it so many times, it's I'm like right, okay, BK, we get it, like right, okay, we get it. Okay. No, he's. I hope he does a great job. He's got a great wife. LaShonda's a very special woman who. I mean, they don't even live together, right? I mean, right?
That's crazy.
Bobby's been bunking up with the other Bobby, and might actually have to find himself a place to live. But you guys know, I mean, shoot, you've seen Coach Barrer recruited me at frickin' Stanford in 1996. The guy, like. He actually enjoys. I don't know. Did he ever move out of the campus inn? I heard he lived there for like a year. So I don't know. But no, man. I just hope so badly for the new staff and these guys that he's bringing in, and a guy like Dom Dasty who's got a wife and a couple kids, and they're moving out of Seattle, and I mean he was at Eastside Catholic and as a state champion, and
he might have been getting paid more there, to be honest. Like that's a private school with some deep pockets.
Well, and that's what he called me, and he's like, I think BK's gonna offer me the job. Like I know he will. I'm like, dude, you really, for me as a friend, just examine this thing, man. Like Botner is stepping down. There's gonna be a new president. There's stuff going on there that like in the universe that you have no control over, and I get that, but like you got a young family, homie. You got a young family, and you're making a very, and I get it. I mean, the guy needs a job. I get all that, but like, I hope, and again, did you guys answer the question? Are you on the same page? Am I speaking?
I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. Yeah, he's got to beat. Yeah. He's got to beat the Cats, or else we'll just go find. Like you said, it's Montana. It's Montana.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question then. In a world where we all hope that BK does a phenomenal job, but let's entertain a world where they're looking for a new coach at the end of the season. Who do you think and where do you think they should go looking?
That's a great question. If I was wearing an AD hat, I'd probably look for a dude with some head coaching experience. Honestly, just a guy maybe it's at the FCS level, maybe it's at the Division II ranks. When
Ferris State.
When they went and hired a guy by the name of Joe Glenn, Joe Glenn. I mean, none of us know or remember what Northern Colorado was like at Division II because they've been that bad for so long at the FCS level. But they were really, really good. They were really good.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if I was playing AD, I'd maybe look for a guy with some head coaching experience that knows how to run a program. And again, though, a place like Montana, you'd almost want a dude with some ties, that understands the culture, understands this ain't like everywhere else, man. It's just different. It is different. Montana is different. And it's a wonderful place. It takes special guys like you to come from Oklahoma, to come from Seattle. Montana's different, man. I mean, fourth biggest state in the country, 1.2 million people, and there's not a ton of diversity, fellas, right? I mean, I'm not.
No way. Really?
I just found out that myself. So it takes a special kind of guy to want to come up here and because if you do embrace it, Lord knows they'll embrace you. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, Sammy, I hope you stay in Missoula, man. Like you can build a life, build a family, build a career in Missoula, Montana, and you will love every second of it. Since I got over here, people are like, "Oh, which town do you like better?" They're both cool towns. They're just way different from each other. They are.
Yeah.
Missoula and Bozeman are way different vibes, way different towns. But I mean, you guys have been here. Bozeman's beautiful. It is a gorgeous area. Missoula's got a soul, man. Like Missoula, Culture and I've talked about this for years. Missoula has this. It's got a soul to it, man. And you can get lost in that Bermuda Triangle downtown, right between the mountain.
Oh man! If you know, you know. Yes.
If you know, you know.
If you don't know, don't know because we don't stay away. Just stay away. And Bozeman's an incredible place. Listen, I mean, there's so much money being pumped into this place now, and
we see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to see, but Main Street's pretty cool. But yeah, man. I mean, when my wife and daughter are shopping, and they're like, next thing you know, they're talking to Jessica Biel and her daughter. Like, that's what's going on over here right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Coach, I want to shift gears a little bit, but I love all the commentary because this is what makes this pod fun for us. It's just getting to learn about different times, maybe before our time. So, since you've been in the state of Montana for a while, who is on? And I'm not even going to call it Mount Rushmore. I'm going to call it the Great Divide Mountain. Who is on your mount, like the Great Divide Mountain of guys that you have coached in the state of Montana? And it could be at either school, because I know you've coached some really, really good guys that have went on to play in the NFL, guys that won Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Sky. So yeah, I just want to get your feedback on that.
I'm going to start by saying, because someone just asked me, I was at a striker function in Charlotte last weekend, and there's striker has some legit stereotypes. They like to hire a lot of former athletes, and
they got to pass the Gallup.
It's funny you know that, Keenan. That's right. They got to pass the Gallup. But let me start with this. I'll say to look across the field and see Jared Allen, to look across the field and see Vincent Jackson, to have to play against Cooper Kupp his entire career. You sit and Cooper's a little different because Cooper wasn't highly recruited. I mean, I remember watching him in high school, and you're like, okay, yeah. But you watch like Jared Allen, and then you realize guys like Vincent Jackson grew like 4 or 5 inches, whatever it was, in college. You sit there as a coach, you go, how the hell is this kid in Pocatello? How is this guy in Greeley? How did this guy become a Super Bowl MVP? So it's a compliment to, and oh, by the way, one of them just made the Hall of Fame. R.I.P. to the other, and the other one, I don't know if he'll be a Hall of Famer, but he's definitely left his mark on the NFL. To answer your question, in the state of Montana, Croy Bierman had one of the most incredible motors I've ever seen. He was almost freakish in a way. And then obviously parlayed that into making a lot of money with the Atlanta Falcons. Also, we talked in the pre-show, marry wisely. I think I told you guys that it's one of the most important decisions of your life. Sometimes housewives on reality TV isn't the best option.
Yeah, Sam, you don't know that? Yes.
I do.
That was not a great decision.
Let's see here. I know you probably know the name, and if he was from Montana, he'd probably be held in a lot higher regard. But Craig Oaks, who started his career at Colorado, Craig was a fantastic quarterback. He was an excellent quarterback. And if he had longer than 2 years and just kind of the weirdness of those first couple of years with Coach Hauck and you know, shoot, we used Kyle Sampson, who's the head coach at Montana Tech, to run the dang option against Idaho because we had no quarterbacks. I mean, you want to go deep into at least my history of the last 25 years ish, 24. Let's see. I only because I think he's such a fantastic guy. It's so cool to see what Alex Singleton's doing in the NFL right now and the adversity. Yeah. Like we guys like you and me talk about adversity, but like that guy's lived adversity, man, and not just his ACL, but nobody wanting him, going to the CFL, then kind of latching on, then getting news like, oh, by the way, you've got testicular cancer. Go play a football game, come back 2 weeks later, all while having a new wife and baby. Really cool. You know, people. My dad actually lives down in Colorado, and Colorado's part of my territory, Keenan. So I've actually got 4 reps there. And my dad sent me this article. Some dipstick media guy, writer in the Denver Post or whatever. He was just. It was a very negative. It was pretty negative about Alex and making plays and lack thereof or whatever. And I just said, hey, Dad, for the last 2 years, that guy from California who via Bozeman, Montana, he's worn a C on his jersey for a reason. So there's obviously 52 other dudes on that team that look at him as a real dude. So who really gives a shit what some guy at the Denver Post says? So.
Absolutely.
Taiwan Jones, if I never ever had to coach against him again, I'd be happy as a clown. That dude was just fast. I'll never forget his position coach and I were homies, and it was after we used to do an assistant coach spring golf tournament every year, which was a lot of fun, boys. A lot of fun. And he goes, Gregorak, do I have a present for you? And that present was a young man by the name of Taiwan Jones. Guy was fast. I'm just trying to think. Montana. I mean, we had so many good players. I coached so many great linebackers. You look at the top 20 list in tackles. We had a pretty good run for a long time, man. We always used to talk so much smack to Trip. But Jordan had. I talked about Croy's motor.
Yeah,
Jordan could run. God, he could run and run and run. And just when I think he's getting tired and I'll be yelling at him, he'll run some more. Brock was special. Brock tackled a tackle, and the job he did in the NFL. And I loved coaching Brock.
Another Super Bowl champion. If you didn't know that, Sam.
Brock didn't win it.
He came in the year after, didn't he?
Brock didn't win it.
Oh no!
I didn't mean to rain on your parade.
You did. It's all right though. It's all right though. No, I love Brock.
It was cool to see O'Connell though. I mean, how badass is it to see a Grizz, a Cat, both with fortuitous routes to get to college football? I'll be honest. I mean, I'll never forget. I recruited O'Connell.
Why didn't he come? He wanted to play baseball, right? Initially.
Baseball thing, and I mean, it was crazy. And I will never forget going to Woodbury, Minnesota, to find Ty, and he was this little quarterback. And I mean, what a story! And then he becomes a dude. Then he gets hurt. Then he becomes a dude again at Montana State. Next thing you know, the guy's going to have a fat freaking ring, man. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool about our level guys. Like Colt Anderson, like you guys have met Colt or you've seen Colt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colt walks in a room and he's around a bunch of dudes that look like us. He'd be the last guy you'd think played a decade in the NFL, but he worked his ass off. He had enough coaches that if they got fired or had to move on, they're like, no, I want that guy on my team, and so I got to coach against a lot of amazing players, dude. And what I love about all the craziness of college football anymore, up until recently, I was saying that FCS is still kind of like that last pure form of football. I can't stand the way these guys, especially at the good programs, and I'll use the one that's a mile away from me right now. These guys, 2 years ago, you were an inch too short. You were a tenth too slow. You were 20, 30 pounds too light. So we're going to love you. We're going to develop you. We're going to pour into you. And then Missouri's going to come and give you, $250,000 and you're going to leave. That's horse shit in my mind. And that's what I'm tired of seeing.
Farm system, man.
Yeah. But that's not, we're not AAA baseball, man. We're not AAA where you sign for a couple $1 million and you ride a bus for the next few years, hoping to get your shot in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And so without going on too much of a tangent or a soapbox, they need to. I mean, the NCAA is already proven to be a defunct governing body. Like go govern volleyball. And I married a volleyball player, and she'd say the exact same thing. Let football and men's and women's basketball just let them go. The college football playoff isn't even run by the NCAA, guys. It's run by a separate entity.
For profit.
So, yeah. And I don't know if you saw on social media the other day, one of the whoever posted Alabama's revenue for all the sports, and this ain't just Bama, guys. It's almost you could probably name on one or maybe two hands the basketball programs that actually make money. Football provides for everybody, so let football go be its own thing.
Yeah.
So,
and guys don't develop that adversity that you need in life, right? Or go through and develop just like the tough skin that you need to, right? I was a senior and Coach Hauck came in and I was 1 minute late to class and he said, you're hiking the M with all these freshmen after a snowstorm, right? But like that taught me something when he was at the top of the mountain. When he was at the top of the mountain sitting at 6:30 in the morning, it's like you learn something. And I could have easily in this era been like, oh, I'm out of here. Our coach got fired. Like I'm out of here.
You know who else? And I can't remember if it was Luther Carr or Cedric Cormier. You know who else had pissed off? Your position coach, because our ass had to be up with you at Mount Sentinel. Every morning we work out. So
so I think it was Peeds was lucky because he had not gotten hired yet. Like Peeds he was in this interim stage. But one more question I got for you, and it's kind of on the back of that. And you talked about a lot of great players that you coached or played against or coached against. I mean. In your 15 years of coaching in Montana, you coached and or recruited 4 Big Sky Defensive Players of the Year, and that's Croy Bierman, Zach Wagman, recruited Dante Olson, Troy Anderson, and then I throw a 5th in there because I think he could have been a Defensive Player of the Year, Tyrone. He was my mentor. He was my mentor my freshman year. What was your key to identifying and developing guys who you can consistently perform at a high level, and do you take that into business now?
I have to go back to the previous question only because I'd be remiss not to mention Troy. And I'm actually, and this is going to sound mind-blowingly stupid and crazy, but I don't think it will to you two guys. I'm not going to throw Troy in as one of the best football players. I will absolutely throw him as one of the best athletes I've ever seen. we did him no service here at Montana State by playing him at like everything except right guard. Okay. Troy is one of the most outstanding young men. He's one of the most outstanding athletes, if not the best athlete I've ever seen. As a coach, I played with some freaks back in the 90s I saw some dude jump 43 the other day at the combine. I'm like, yeah, I played with one of those guys 25 years ago. So yeah, man, you just named a lot of great names. You really did. I don't think you're going to have one player ever say, "Oh yeah, Gregorak was the next Nick LeBeau," right? I think everyone would say that I cared. I loved my dudes. I would have their back until they showed or proved to me that I couldn't have their back. I would go to war with them. I'd fight for them. I'd get the shirt on my back. Yeah, and when I kind of slowly started seeing that slip a little bit, it was frustrating, because we had it so good at Montana. Like those guys. I mean, shit, I'm trying to remember how many couples I've married now. Eight or nine couples I've actually married, and I hate saying that this new generation and kids have changed. Like, kids don't change, man. Kids are kids. Kids are kids. You guys were kids in the late '90s, early 2000s, whenever it was. Just the way I was a kid in the '80s. Parenting is parenting's different. Coaching's different. What's allowed is different. Our society is allowed for kids to be different. These stupid ass things have changed the world. My kids are 12 and 10. They think we're some communist regime and that we don't allow them to have cell phones. And I'm like, you will thank me later, okay? You don't. I didn't have one till I graduated. I didn't get one till I was a GA at Washington. I didn't probably. Well, again, I'm a little bit different generation, but boys, it's probably
I had my first phone in 5th grade.
Yeah, again, I'm getting old, dude. But I'll say this: in Boulder in the '90s, it's probably good there was no phones, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
I'll leave it at that. No, man, I poured into my players. I loved them. I still stay in touch with a lot of them. There's some of them that I absolutely love and respect to this day that I don't stay in touch with. That's life, right? I mean, you guys are going to figure it out the older you get, and my life is my children. I don't go on boy trip. I don't like, hey, all the homies are going to Bandon Dunes to get drunk and play golf. No, you know what I do? I took my son to the last Monday Night Football game, Falcons versus the Rams. Like, that's my boy trip. That's what I want. He is my mini me, and it's something I didn't have with my father, and it's something that stepping away from football has allowed me to do, and I don't regret it at all. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of wonderful. What there is, there's a lot of wonderful. Bobby Hauck is a wonderful father. Okay, Brent Vegan is a wonderful father to his boys. But it's not easy. I'll say that. And so you just ripped off some of the best players of the last 10, 15, 20 years, man. And all those guys worked. Like my grandpa used to say, if it's going to be, it's up to thee, meaning it's on you, right? But a little push and some development and some help and some coach, my girlfriend's pregnant, like when they trust you to come talk to you like a coach, like a father, like a brother, like a mentor, like a friend, that's when you've succeeded. And so again, I wasn't the greatest coach in the world. I tried to get everything I could out of the dudes and this is my goal as a manager, Keenan, in its different worlds. People are like, oh yeah, med device is just like playing. No, it's not. Okay. Is getting a big fat PO and making a lot of money nice? Yeah, that's fun. But it ain't like Saturdays or Sundays. Okay.
That's a fact.
I want the reps just the way I did my team, just the way as I did as a coach, that like, they don't want to disappoint me. Right. Because I don't want to disappoint them. And when those players got to a point where I knew it almost hurt them more than me if they disappointed me in their actions off the field, or like Brian Urlacher missed tackles. We all miss tackles, right? Ray missed plenty of tackles. The best players in the world miss tackles, but when they disappoint you doing something stupid, and I've been there and done it. I've embarrassed my last name. I've embarrassed my family. We've all been there and done stupid stuff. And that's when you get to a point where true respect is when they don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to fail you as a coach, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. And as someone that has a manager, I think that goes a long way, right? You just want to feel like your manager cares for you. And it does make you work harder when you get out there in the field and you're trying to, do some hard things. It is not mat drills hard, but hey, selling to surgeons sometimes is not always the funniest thing to do. So
I can't believe, when you really look at mat drills, especially the way we used to run it, it's so freaking archaic and like dumb.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's just like, I get it. And again, I was a part of it at Colorado. I saw it at Washington, brought it to Montana. But like, I mean, there were dudes at times getting choked out, like just like flat choked out. And again, I've listened to multiple weeks of your guys' stuff, and you could talk about it through so many generations of players and coaches. Bobby was tough. Bobby was not always. Bobby was not easy, man. Like, trust me. But you'd be hard pressed to find a dude. Now there's going to be slappies that they weren't good enough to probably be there in the first place.
yeah.
You'd be hard pressed to find guys, coaches and players alike, that don't respect Bobby. I mean,
Yep.
So in terms of on the field and off the field stuff, he grew up in a military type, coaching family. I remember when his dad passed away, man. He was a real dude, great man. Coach Tom. I mean, you guys remember Coach Tom Hauck? Broke my heart to hear that he had passed away. It's a good family, man. It's a good, solid family. You guys know Ryan Tiro. Ryan's Ryan's our Montana rep here, and I get to work with Ryan. I talked to Ryan for 30 minutes today. Yes, nice. He looks like the dude off Frozen, no question about it. But Ryan, I mean, this is what I told my boss when I hired him. He's like, "What, you're going to hire this guy?" I'm like, he's a kid. He's got no experience. I said, "Well, one, I've known him since he was literally a little boy. Two, he's a COVID student athlete, meaning he not only does he have a degree, he has his master's degree, and he's been there for 6 freaking years. And three, just what I was talking about, like Ryan, I know Ryan's going to do everything in his power, to be successful for himself and make money, and he's got to provide for himself. But I know that he knows that I kind of stuck my neck out a little bit for him, and he will do everything in his power to not let me down. But again, I mean, that's on him, and I want him to be successful in his own life. But all I'm saying is that the Haucks are you can't, in my mind, and all the slaps that are moving from Texas and California, and they know nothing about either of these programs. If you are from here and you do care about Montana State football, you cannot think about Montana football without the Hauck name being synonymous. And we haven't even talked about Tim Hauck, who's one of the best players to ever go through the damn program. So
no, absolutely, spot on, Sam.
Well, are we running up on time, or are you still good? Because we do have some more questions.
I'm at your beck and call there, Sammy.
Okay. You have a son who is a highly recruited player in his own right. As a former coach, do you have a hand in his recruiting process at all, or are you a more hands-off approach?
My son and I have a very interesting relationship, which is why I told you both prior to the show, most important decision of your life, choose wisely, marry wisely. I mean, this is, I'd say we're in the trust tree, but there's going to be some folks actually listening and watching this, I think. Maybe they'll just,
if you don't want to get into it, you don't have to get into it.
No, come June, I won't have seen my son for 7 years. So wow. It's been a tough, but we communicate all the time.
Right.
It's been sad for me because, I got out of football with family number one in mind. And I actually told his stepfather that just over 7 years ago. And I said, listen, this is a family decision. I didn't have the ability to go spend a lot of time in Minneapolis. It was tough for him to come, and he was so young. I mean, he was. We were separated and going through the divorce process basically when we found out that we were having a son. So I haven't lived with him a whole bunch of his life to let you know. I'm hoping in my heart that football brings us back together, because he does text me. He, early in the fall, he was sending me huddle film like, hey, Dad, does this look good? Like, what would you know? I'm like, dude, listen. The first 5 plays, first 10 plays, if you don't pop, they're moving on, right? So you show hustle, effort, show. I mean, the kid just turned 17 2 weeks ago, guys. He's 6'5", 270. He's and he just started playing
unit.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
he just started playing football. He grew up playing hockey.
Damn.
So he probably saw the writing on the wall in terms of this. You don't see. I know Ovechkin and some of those dudes are big men, but overall, most NHL guys are not that big. So yeah, it's been cool. I mean, I've told every guy, it's sad for me when you talk to dudes from NDSU and I mean the South Dakota State guy. He's like, "Wait, that's your son?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my son." So the defensive coordinator, I've known each other a long time, and you talk to guys around. One, you're trying to do right by him. Like I'm trying to help him kind of behind the scenes, but I'm so transparent and honest. I'm like, listen, what you're about to watch is raw. Like he's raw, but he's strong as hell. You can tell he's got heavy hands. He's long. I don't think he's done growing. He just turned 17. If I had my wishes, he'd be a sophomore right now, just the way I was at just turning 17. So I think now that he's got, and you guys know recruiting, man. I mean, now that the dominoes have kind of started to fall a little bit, and he's got a couple of Big 12s in Kansas State, Boston College is in there, San Diego State. He's got the blue bloods of our region of FCS. I mean, he's got all the Dakotas, Montana State. I'd be shocked. I don't think he's coming this way.
No.
And I think I mentioned it. Maybe I didn't. But I think once he kind of gets on the camp circuit this summer, I just would be hard. It'd be hard for me to believe that a Minnesota or an Iowa or Wisconsin, somewhere that's right in that few hour corridor. I mean, he's going to all the, he was invited to games this year, and I'm glad. I hope he loves it. He this era of kids, man, everything's social media and everything's posted pretty quickly. I just hope he loves. It's like I tell my daughter Gabby, she's a freak gymnast. Like as soon as you start liking it, get out. You have to love it. You have to love football. You guys know this because it is so freaking hard. Yeah, you start fall camp, your body will not feel the same until hopefully around Christmas. And now you're playing past Christmas. So, your head, my shoulder, if I showed you my shoulders, they got zippers. My right knee sucks. I was at a lab, Keenan in Charlotte. And I'm standing there all day and I'm like, okay, I know I'm closer to 50 than 40 now, but it hurts, man. And I didn't play in the NFL. I didn't play as long as some of these guys. I see some of my buddies and they're broken men, man. Like if you like it, get out. And so my only advice to him, and I love when it makes my day when he asks about recruiting stuff, and it's really cool for me to see him getting opportunities. I wish he's got a hyphenated last name that isn't used, so most people don't know that it's Gregorak Geyer, not just Geyer. But I'm happy for him, and I hope he gets to play big time ball, and like I said, I just hope he loves it, and hopefully for him. I mean, it's one of the greatest honors of my life. I got my college education paid for. I mean, just the way you guys did, and that used to be enough. That used to be like, my folks just saved 150, 200 G's or whatever on a 4 or 5 year education. Now it's where's my new F-150. Right. So,
it used to be, hey, I made it out the hood. Like, man, I got to go to school for free. It was great. But now guys are like spending $100,000 on a chain, and it's like, dude, you're ridiculous.
And listen, I'm not going to sound like a complete, barbarian who isn't like. I mean, Chodo always used to say the great ones adjust. You have to adjust, and I've always been of the belief, like back in my day, guys, you actually could only make. It was like $1,500 a semester. Like it was rigid back in the day. You could only make X amount of money, like in real jobs. And I've always been of the belief, and I think I've told this to culture, like if you can serve your country and you can go die for your country, if you can vote for elected officials, you should be able to make a little money, right? Doing what we're doing. But the way it's gotten is just, it's out of control. And I think, Keenan, you were alluding to it earlier about, setting these kids up almost for failure. When every kid at the University of Utah gets a brand new F-150 on lease, and then your scholarship's up and your eligibility's up, and then that brand new shiny beautiful truck isn't there anymore. Like, what's your reality now? Like, that's not reality. So anyway, we don't need to go down that one again, but I hope it gets cleaned up, because amateur athletics are which it's tough to even call them anymore, but it used to be so damn pure and fun. And even up until your guys' era, man, like it used to be so good. And the great ones got to go play pro ball. You got to go play on Sundays and make money. There's a lot of cats playing in the SEC and Big Ten right now that are making more than the very small percentage of the 50. I keep saying 53 or 53 man roster.
53. You're right.
There's dudes that are like, nope, I'm going to stay in college until the NCAA.
This guy is suing to stay in college when he's going to get drafted at Ole Miss.
Right.
What are we talking about?
It's a joke, dude. And frankly, it makes the game look like a joke. And that's a problem when we start making such a great thing look so bush league and dumb. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like that's
the goal to go to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, or make $4 or $5 million at Miami, or
And the way they spend it, there's no real, awareness of like, hey, you're never gonna get until you're maybe 5-10 years into your actual career and you do really, really well. You're not gonna get a big check like this again.
This is why I love visiting. Like, I don't get to Ryan Tyrrell. My New Mexico dude, played D2 ball at Benedict in Kansas City. But like this, thank you for bringing me on just to get to talk football with guys who actually know football.
Yeah.
So I am honored to get to just sit and talk to two dudes that know what the hell they're talking about football wise. But yeah, man, it's crazy and it's disgusting. I mean, basketballs, and you almost can't listen to any of these press conferences anymore without a John Calipari or someone going, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
And frankly, you've seen it, football and basketball. These guys they're done, and that's why it was kind of in my world a little bit. Just having a relationship, it was a little disappointing for Bobby to go out the way he did, because Illinois and Bielma didn't just pop up the next day. If you want to go coach Illinois, go coach Illinois. Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. Good on you. You get to go coach in the Big Ten. You get to coach big time ball again, just the way you did in the Pac-10. But a little bit of that is kind of what bugs me about what's going on in football right now. But you know what? Bobby's going to go make what? Has anyone actually seen his
pay raise? He definitely got a pay raise.
I'm sure it's decent.
Well, the last dude made, I think one of you guys reported it was about 930, 950. That was the last DC. Ooh. So no, he's going to make $1 million.
Coulter.
Yeah.
Wow. I told you, Keenan.
Bobby's going to go make $1 million this year.
Guys,
do you know how many coordinators in the SEC and the Big Ten and the ACC are making $2 million or more now? It's a lot.
Yeah, all the time.
So, like I thought about it from the perspective of, okay, there's so much pressure on him at Montana to beat Montana State, but this is one of the best, if not the best iteration of Montana State that there's been ever. Right?
I've said it, Keenan, I've said it multiple times on broadcasts. And again, I didn't grow up a cat. I didn't grow up a Grizz. Yeah. But I've been around these programs and I always took pride in knowing the history. And I took pride in, if I was a Grizz, you're sure shit going to believe anyone around me hated with a capital H, the Cats that week. And afterwards, you want to shake hand, hug it up. I'd see the Cat coaches up in Great Falls at the coaching clinic every summer. We'd have a great time. First time I ever saw my wife, actually. I was like, who is that? Who is that smoke show? Why is she here? What's her name? I'm curious.
Yeah.
But no, and but Bobby's gonna make some good money. I hope he's successful, because that's a hell of a conference in which you're not named the Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State,
Indiana now.
Indiana is the best. I mean, that guy's probably an absolute psychopath, but is there a better college football coaching job done in the last 2 years than what he's done? Ever?
No, I don't think so.
Well, we're running up on time, so I want to ask you this last thing. We'll definitely have to bring you back on, because this has been a great conversation, and I feel like we still got a ton to cover. But what would be your advice to a young player and coach who is listening to this and has aspirations of becoming a college football coach and climbing the coaching ladder?
It is the greatest job a guy like you, like the three of us, could ever have. It is one of the funkiest, weirdest, craziest professions you could ever step into. See, we talked about JB Hall. I mean, the guy's got 3, 4, 5 kids now, and you're not making much money. I'll say this though too. It doesn't matter if you're at the University of Montana or at the University of Michigan. The hours, the grind, the pressure is the same. You just have another comma or two in your paycheck. So
it makes a big difference, Ty.
No, man. Listen, I got to coach ball for almost 20 years. I get to be around it now with Scripps Sports. I get to go to, like for me, San Luis Obispo's on the schedule. Awesome. And now I'm not stuck in a damn Embassy Suites all night, getting ready for the ball game. I get to actually go eat a good meal and go see the ocean and have, it's been fun for me in that regard. If you love to coach young men or young women in a different sport, and you love to develop, you love to see them be wildly successful, jump on in, man. Keenan, you and I are in similar rackets. Yeah. I knew 1,000% by taking a role in management, I'd probably be taking a pay cut, and I did, and I couldn't wait to do it, because I get to lead a team. I get to watch them be. So I actually just got to complete my team. We had an opening in Denver, and for the first time in a while, I on my Monday morning email, I said, just do your 111. Just do your 111.
Dope.
We have if everybody wins in their each individual piece of dirt, we will win as a team, and our big ass meeting in Orlando, Florida, is going to be that much sweeter. Do your 111th. Just own your little world, which, whether it's a big world like Ryan Tiro's got in Montana, or we have 4 people in the state of Colorado, the 5280 squad, as I call them. Just do your 111th, and that's true in life, man. I mean, that's true in anything. Just do you guys. There's awesome car salesmen. There's shitty car salesmen. There's great attorneys. There's bad ones. There are doctors that I have worked with that I'd be like, my mother should go to you. There are doctors I've worked with that I'd be like, I wouldn't recommend my worst enemy to. Right? That's life.
It's so crazy.
Right? But that's life. There are great. Yeah. There are amazing broadcasters that we want to listen to for 3+ hours, and then there's dudes like me where if
get this guy off my TV.
Yeah. I always laugh because my wife kind of helps me pick out suits and ties and what. I'm like, honey, do you know that the audience actually sees me for like maybe 60 seconds of a 3-hour show? Front,
the beginning and the end.
Maybe something at halftime. We did on the trip, and maybe something at the end. But she's like, no, but that 60 seconds is important. You gotta look the part. So, no, man, it's you both would be excellent coaches, just because I know your mentality and your demeanor and kind of your values and I never got to coach you, Sammy, but my God, I loved watching. I loved watching you against the Idaho States and everyone. I hated watching you against us.
You got the best of us in that game. I know what you're talking about. It was a great game for me and Keenan, but we didn't get the win.
Yeah. What year are you talking? Are you talking? What year is that? That you're the one.
That'll be for another conversation that we can get into that 2018 game.
So I'll never, and I don't remember which one of you. So Choate, I mean, it was like 3rd and 12 or whatever, and he just like laces into me, and I'm like, Coach, the safety. I mean, I start yelling back. I said, Conkle was there, the linebacker was there, the corner
Washington was there.
Yeah, I was like, that dude's just better than all three of them. I mean, you tell me what coverage you want, Coach. Because there were 3 dudes there, and that guy just went up and made a play because he was either A, better in general, or for sure better on that play. I loved what I got to do for as long as I did, gentlemen. I am the luckiest guy in the world to get to be around the game still by us media. And we are slaps. We're just media slaps. We are armchair quarterbacks that aren't spending 18 hours.
We know everything.
We do. Yeah. We do. But I'll say this. I love listening to you guys. It's only your show's only talking about reps, right? And just reps. Yeah. You're only going to get better. And I can't wait to see the lineup of people you continue to bring in. I'll always be rooting for you. I'll always be listening to you when I'm hiking up our M. And if and when we hopefully get to do this again, I can't wait for it. So
absolutely. Well, thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate you.